Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review, mini review, look at a one single item type situation thing going on. Now, I know there's a lot to talk about Toy Fair, but due to plane engines going out and delays and layovers and everything else, I will work on that later in the week. But I got home, checked the mail. Well, I came home, passed out for several hours, and then checked the mail, and this was in there. So I thought I'd take a quick look at that. Kind of cleanse the palate, and then get back to all kinds of awesome toy news from the weekend. Now, anyone that has seen my Kaiyodo Amazing Yamaguchi Magneto review knows that I pretty much hate the cape that it came with. It's this big, gaudy, gappy, hard to manipulate, plastic chunk of hell. It can be done. It does look good in certain poses, but it makes the figure too heavy, too back heavy. You always have to have it on a stand. It's just, to me, it's a worthless piece of shit. That's what it is. So a lot of people had been pointing out that there were third-party sellers that had wired cloth capes out there, looked pretty good. I finally decided to go with GP slot or GPS lot on eBay. Figured what the hell, 16 bucks, I'm not out that much if it doesn't work. But I was fairly confident that it would work because I got my Darth Maul outer robe from the same seller. That was a quality piece. I figured this would be a quality piece, and everybody, including me, was right. Like I said, this thing, oh man, it's like a figure to itself. This has more joints than some figures I've bought in the past. But as you can see, I just simply ripped this out of the back. This is the piece that was connected. Here's your flight stand hole. At first I pulled these pieces off thinking I could leave this, and then that was too much under the cape. And then I pulled these off, and it still made them look a little bit hunchback under the cape. So I figured this whole thing, that's gone. What I ended up doing was super glue to this ridge right here. If you look underneath, you can see the ridge for that big back chunk piece that was on there. I simply ran a bead of super glue straight across the top of that and then put the cape where it would pretty much follow the seam of the neck. But then I knew I wanted the cape to kind of cover the shoulders and come around the front a little bit. So I didn't glue here. I glued back at the end of the purple strip, right on top of the last ball. That way, if I needed to, I could still bend that wire out of the way. If I straighten it out, it comes down and I can cover the shoulder, or it can look like it's flowing from that metal collar piece. And if I ever wanted to take this off again and put that big plastic monstrosity back on, not that I ever will, if I pull this off and there's glue residue, it'll still be hidden under the original cape piece. My first thought was to glue here, and then I thought, no, glue back here. Now the wired cape is still a little bit hard to manipulate. You'll have to do some bunching in the back to keep it from flowing way the hell out there, and you also get the flare up at the shoulder still. So it looks pretty much like the original cape, just no gaps. I like the sheen of it. I like the color of it. It just, for me anyway, this is just better. Now, if you like the original cape, there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's up to you. You bought the figure. You do whatever the hell you want to it. Me, I didn't. As soon as I finished that review, I put him on a flight stand. I put him on my Revoltech shelf. I left him the hell alone. I did not want to mess with that cape again. But getting this cape, it's light. It has wires in it. You can still get some dynamic poses, but it's light enough that he can stand on his own. And that's way more than it could do before this cape switch. So I want to thank everybody that suggested this to me. I appreciate it. It makes this figure much more playable, at least on my shelf. I'm going to be able to mess with this a lot more now. GPS lot on eBay, 16 bucks, quality product. So there you go. If you like the review or this me nearly passing out behind the camera, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.